And I worked in a warehouse in Amazon in the West Midlands in 2016. I was there for 9 days over 3 weeks. And I'd worked in warehouses before when I was younger, but what I saw in the Amazon warehouse I worked in was unlike any place I'd worked before. I found some of the practices there at the time quite shocking. So you were measured on the amount of time you spent order picking. So that was my job, an order picker. You had to go around and take items from the shelves for Amazon's customers, and you would be timed doing this. And toilet breaks and things like that weren't factored into it. So we were told that, if we spent too much idle time, which was time going to the bathroom, you'd be given a disciplinary point. If you take a day off sick, so I took a day off sick and I received a disciplinary point for that as well. And this was productivity targets were so onerous that you basically came home each day exhausted. You walked around 10 to 12 miles every shift, over a 10.5-hour shift. And it just basically made me ill, and many of the other people I spoke to made them you just became exhausted, ill, and were treated very poorly at work.
So, I think the things that some people are struggling to see is because all of this, the kind of pay element of it, everyone's talking about hourly wage, that you get set amount per hour, but all the condition stuff is all talking about kind of performance based. So is it like there's an hourly wage and then you get stuff on top if you do everything as fast as they say, or do you just get shouted at if you're slow at walking around I don't get it.
Yeah, so what there was when I worked at Amazon, it was everybody was on the minimum wage. This was in 2016. Amazon have given staff a pay rise since then. The workers on strike.
I should just for balance say that Amazon say that they've increased base wage 29% since 2018. Let me say that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and they've just offered, so the striking workers in Coventry, they've been offered a 5%, I think it is, pay increase. No, it's 50p an hour pay increase, but that's obviously well below the rate of inflation. So over the last few years since the previous pay rise, this would be a real terms pay cut because of inflation. That's why they're striking. The working conditions, though, are part of this as well, because the productivity targets, like the number of orders you have to pick per hour, is so high that it's hard to keep up. And when you don't keep up, you're given a disciplinary point. This is what happened when I was at Amazon. And if you get 6 of those, you lose your job, essentially. And you can
so it's not performance related pay; it's performance related. Don't get fired.
Punishment, yeah, performance related punishment. Yeah. So, which there might be a scenario where that was to some extent okay. Like if you don't do the job at all, and you get a disciplinary point, maybe that's something that could be talked about. But the thing that was happening when I was at Amazon was if you took a day off sick, even if you were ill, and you offered to bring a note from the doctors, you were still given a disciplinary point for that. And if you clocked in 10 minutes late to your shift because the Amazon coach broke down on the way there, so it's not your fault, you still get a disciplinary point for that. That was some of the issues I encountered, and it sounds like some of the workers in Coventry have encountered some similar issues to that.
It also sounds as if the company is quite happy to kind of burn through staff, believing that there will always be more people to fill and backfill shifts. But unemployment isn't that high in this country. It seems to me as if that model would only work if you call what's happening working, if you can be truly confident that there's going to be a queue of people out the door to try and get the shifts.
No, I agree with that. And I think that's why you see this industrial action, you see these rumblings of discontent now, and why you didn't see them at the time I was undercover at Amazon in 2016. So in 2016, this was before Brexit, and most of the workers I worked with in the Amazon factory were Romanian migrants. And lots of them came over for a short period of time, then went back home. But there was always this sense that there was lots and lots of people waiting for jobs. We were even told on the first day at Amazon by an agency rep that we were told that, if you don't want this job, I've got 70 other people, waiting. If you're not committed to it, then there are all these people who want it instead. I think that's changed now. I think we are in, as you say, a tighter labor market, and so more of this. I presume that fewer of the staff in some of these Amazon warehouses now are from Eastern Europe. I presume more of them are from the UK. And I think with that tighter labour market, I think there's you have more bargaining power as a worker, even at a place like Amazon. So this is why I think you see these walkouts now.
And in terms of fixing it, because presumably the job will always be get the stuff out the door as quickly as possible. I mean, from what you saw, how would you make it better?
I mean, I don't think fixing it is that hard. I think Amazon as a kind of production line is hugely efficient anyway. And it's the largest multinational in the world. Jeff Bezos is one of the wealthiest men in the world, and I don't quite see why these things like timing toilet breaks and as when I was at Amazon, punishing you if you took a day off sick if you were legitimately ill. I don't really see how this particularly improves productivity all that much. I would say the huge turnover of staff at places like this actually makes productivity worse and also morale worse, which I think again impacts on productivity. So I don't really see. It seems more there's just a lack of concern and a lack of understanding of what some of the workers in the warehouses actually face day to day. It seems to be that more than. I mean, I can't see that some productivity saver because, as I said, I think these things are actually damaging to the bottom line long term.